talking to the mic?
Am I good? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Sweet.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Whiskey Weigh-In podcast. We've been away for about a week now. Shay was on vacation. I did one by myself. We're going to skip UFC on ESPN4 because you guys saw it, whatever.
It's a little late now.
Yeah, a little late. We got the pay-per-view coming up on Saturday, and not a great one.
It's very underwhelming. It's very underwhelming for sure. I don't know. I'm not big on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the co-main and the main, good fights. I'm excited to see Cyborg and Spencer and Holloway and Edgar, but
yeah.
Excuse me, who are these other guys?
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's a light main card.
What do you think Uncle Dana was thinking when he put together this as a pay-per-view?
I don't know. I heard an interview with him earlier talking about how a beast Holloway is, and he comes out strong, and Edgar's going to come in, and he just likes to keep driving people the whole fight, and so it's going to be a good fight. But he didn't talk anything about the main card itself,
like the rest of it, right? Yeah, no, yeah. I think Holloway and Edgar is a great main event, even on a pay-per-view. I think that's great. Cyborg and Spencer on the co-main. I think that's a great co-main for pay-per-view. But then you really drop the ball on the rest of the card. Even prelims, like usually there's like one or two fights that I'm really excited for on prelims, but I'm not even excited for prelims like that. And then, all the other fights, I could skip these first three fights and then just be happy with seeing the co-main and main. But I could be wrong, and like those three fights be the craziest fights ever.
Yeah.
That's what you got to root for in that situation.
Yeah. That's the point that we want to make too, is that we could be completely wrong about this, and somebody who's more educated and who follows this stuff a little more would probably be like, "Are you crazy? You don't know Jeff Neal, or you don't know Nico Price? Like, you should know more about these guys." Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
We got to give them the benefit of the doubt, We're not experts. We just enjoy this stuff, and we like watching the podcast, or not watching the podcast, doing the podcast.
Right.
So that's kind of our 2 cents. The first three fights for me, I honestly will just flip a coin. I have no idea about any of those fighters. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to look more into them and stuff.
Yeah, right.
I didn't really prepare for this. It's like a news station or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. I've heard a little bit about Jeff Neal, but I haven't heard much about any of these other guys.
Well, let's jump into it. Let's go to the first one. Who we got?
Marc-Andre Barriault and Chris Jotko.
All right, so Chris is the favorite, -160. You have Mark at +140. So in this one, I actually like Chris because the last time not the last time, but in one of his fights after he won, he started breakdancing. So that's why I'm picking him.
Oh yeah, he's got a personality, huh?
Yeah, so if you breakdance, you got my heart.
This guy's 20-4, so a lot of fights under his belt. Polish mixed martial artist, fighting middleweight.
So
America top team. Okay.
Okay, that's solid.
Yeah.
Baldy gym to be out of. So who are you going with here?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh man, that's not good already.
Yeah, I have no
Off to
idea.
a bad start.
Geez, on what was it? ESPN. It was Fight Night 155. I literally picked all wrong, right?
Not
just about everything but one.
I think we might have picked one right together.
Yeah, one right. You went undefeated, and I picked almost all wrong, all incorrectly. So I'm trying not to repeat that, but I just want to find out a little more about this.
You might as well forget about
Marc-Andre
it.
Guy.
Might as well forget about it.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll take the French guy if he is French, Canadian, whatever.
The Canadian gangster.
They call him a Canadian gangster.
Yeah. It's the Canadian gangster, man.
Right?
Or is that no? I think that no. That's the next fight. That's the next fight.
Okay. Oh, Olivier Aubin-Mercier.
Yep.
Yeah. Marc-Andre. I don't even know what the hell he is.
All right, so let's just move on to that next one then. So you take Marc-Andre and I'll take Chris.
Sure.
All right. Sure. All right, let's move into the next one then.
Yeah. All right, Olivier Aubin-Mercier is a lightweight bout versus Arman Tsarukyan. Yuki, no, it's
Armin is the favorite -200, and you have Olivier at +170.
Armin's the favorite. Okay.
Yeah, he's -200, so that's a pretty solid favorite there. I mean, I don't know on this one. Give me the Canadian Gangster. I mean, how can you go wrong with that nickname?
Which one is Olivier?
Yeah. So give me him all day long.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if this Armin guy wasn't a Russian gangster. He's an Armenian-Russian mixed martial artist. Born, he's 22 years old. What a young guy.
So you're taking Armin.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Armin.
Okay,
I
so you're
feel
going with the
very
favorite on that
confident
one.
about this.
All right, yeah, that's good. So let's move on to the next one. Who we got in the next one?
Jeff Neal and Nico Price.
All right, well, Jeff Neal is -340.
Wow.
Yeah, Nico Price +280. So Jeff Neal
What
has
the heck, man?
yeah, it's
Why?
pretty big odds there. So not to roll with the odds makers here, but I'm going to take a chance on Jeff Neal.
You're gonna go against the odds?
No,
Or
Jeff
for
Neal's the favorite.
Sorry.
So I'm going
Yeah.
for it all day here.
No, I heard you wrong. Yeah, I mean, I'll just go ahead and take the favorite, I guess.
Yeah, you got to go Jeff Neal here. I mean, sorry we don't have too much background here, but I mean, this is it's a terrible pay-per-view.
Let's just talk about that for a minute. You're not going to learn about the fighters in this episode. Both of us are actually pretty disappointed in this pay-per-view. We think that a lot of fight nights and UFC on ESPN's cards are better than this pay-per-view.
It's ridiculous that you have fight nights that are literally better than this card. You have a great main event, you have a great co-main event, and then it's like they forgot about the rest of the card. I really don't understand what Dana and the matchmakers were thinking on this. I usually give them all the praise because they do a magnificent job. I don't think anyone was like pulled out of this card either, so it's not like they're missing someone. I think this is what it was the whole time.
Yeah, the only canceled fight was a heavyweight in the early prelims, so not even in the prelims. So, yeah, this was planned. This is what they wanted.
I would be willing to make a bet that this will be the lowest pay-per-view buy probably of the year.
Yeah.
If not, it'll be like the second lowest. Because this is bad.
I would be really interested to see like how it compares to some of the fight night numbers and the UFC on ESPN numbers. I'm sure. Well, money. Well, yeah. I guess if you're watching ESPN, I guess the numbers are always going to be better than pay per view, right?
I wouldn't say always.
Yeah.
It depends on who your name is in the pay per view.
Yeah, that's true.
But and honestly, like I really enjoy Cyborg, but I don't know how much of a draw she is. Like, are you really going to be tuning in to see Cyborg in this fight? If it was Amanda, then yeah.
But she won't fight her.
Yeah, Dana was saying that she's basically called Cyborg out and was like, she doesn't want to fight Amanda. This is Cyborg's last fight on her contract.
Yeah, and Cyborg has this beef with Dana too, saying that Dana just wants her to get hurt, but she just doesn't want to fight.
She doesn't want to fight Amanda, yeah. And Dana even said that they would sign her to a one-fight contract for Amanda. Or, they'll reconstruct her contract, whatever she wants. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that with Cyborg. I don't know how I feel.
I'm really surprised that somebody like her is just scared, I guess. Is it fear? Like, what is it? I understand.
Amanda
I wouldn't want to fight
goat.
the best fighter, but Cyborg she's a beast.
She's no slouch, right?
Yeah.
She's no slouch. Just jumping into this fight, you have Cyborg at -600. Wow, that's a huge favorite. And then Spencer at +450.
It's great for Spencer to get a fight like this.
Yeah, Felicia,
really good for her career.
She's undefeated, right?
7-0,
I don't have it.
Yeah.
She could pull this off. I think you have to push the pace with Cyborg. She can pick you apart, but then again, I don't know if you want to push the pace or not. If you can't take a punch, don't push the pace with her.
Yeah.
Because you saw Amanda, she went throwing hands with her, stood there with her and was throwing, and I was nervous for Amanda, but it prevailed. I think if you can get Cyborg in trouble, you can beat her because she's never really been in trouble like that.
Yeah. I think that this is not the last fight on her contract, but the next to the last fight. Cyborg? I think she only has one more fight.
Oh, I thought this was the last one. So she has one more.
Or you know what?
This?
Maybe this is the last one because whenever they were talking about negotiating something for Amanda, Dana said that he would be willing to negotiate a 1-fight contract.
Right, yeah,
that's what she
one-off.
wanted to do. So
Yeah.
maybe this is the last fight on her contract, and then we'll see what the future holds for her. I don't know. I don't know what her decision would be right now.
You know, they made the 145 division strictly for her. I mean, it was for Cyborg to bring her over because she couldn't really get down to 35.
Yeah,
she's a big
too
girl.
big. Yeah,
she's really big. And 145, I don't really think that division stays in the UFC either, especially if Cyborg's out.
Is that the biggest women's division?
So 35 is what it was at bantamweight, and then they made the 45, which is the heaviest, for Cyborg. So I think if she's out, if this is her last fight
really
in the
hurt
UFC,
the division.
Yeah, I mean, who do you have left? Amanda, and then Megan Anderson, who she's been an absolute disappointment. She was supposed to come over and be great. You have Holly Holm, but I mean, Holm just lost to Amanda at 35. Why would you fight them at 45? Unless you would move like Jermaine up to 45, but I don't really see the point in that when she's the number one contender at 35.
Yeah, so, she has not a lot of incentive to move up.
Right. I don't really know. I don't know what you do with that 45 division, especially if this is Cyborg's last fight. And I mean, to me, it looks like an easy fight for Cyborg. So give me Cyborg on this one all day.
You know what? I mean, maybe that's why she wanted this fight, just to have the last fight and go out with a bang. Maybe she's thinking about retirement. How old is Cyborg?
I don't know. I don't know her age, honestly, but I don't really.
She's 34, so she's still got a lot of.
I'd say she's still so young.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
She's so young, and I really doubt that she's taken any damage. I would be
for as big as she is. She's 2 inches taller than this girl, but Felicia actually has a 2-inch reach advantage.
So
no, never mind. Actually, I just have bad eyes. They have the same reach.
Oh, I was going to say, did that persuade you to take
shorter.
Felicia, or are you taking Cyborg?
I mean, I'll take Felicia for the hell of it because I think it'd be funny, if she beats her. But I mean, what do I have to lose? We haven't been really following through with the bets here.
You know what? Let's put it this way: if Cyborg loses, since you picked Felicia,
you buy the next bottle of proper.
Well, I was going to say I'll just tip the bottle up and just start drinking until you tell me to stop. But
oh no, I won't do that to you.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we'll do a poll.
We'll think of something funny. Yeah. We'll do something for that. And let's get into the main event. Who we got? Who we got as the main event?
Max Holloway and Frankie Edgar.
All right.
No strangers to anyone, really.
No, right. Yeah. This is such a great fight. Literally, this is the fight I'm excited for. I will watch this pay-per-view just for these two. Max Holloway at minus 400. Frankie Edgar at plus 325. Those odds are pretty shocking to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're a lot closer of a matchup than those odds would reveal, I think.
Man.
What's the deal with that?
I have no idea. I think that like Max, everyone kind of says Max is the best 145er of all time, which
he's 10 years younger too, so
I disagree with that. But so Max and Frankie, I don't know. This would be tough because I'm nervous for Max. I'm a big Holloway fan, but I'm nervous for Max in this fight, and the reason being, he just got out of a war with Dustin Poirier.
Just got out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was
not that long ago at all.
Right. For how bad did he took a beating in that one. And I'm a little nervous that it might be a little too soon. I think if Frankie can catch him 1 or 2 good times, Max might get a little wobbly out there.
Well, and then also, too, I mean, Max likes to go out strong. He could gas out, and Frankie might just be able to be the smarter
Max
fighter.
ain't gassing out. I'll say that. I don't see Max gassing out. I don't think, at least. I could be wrong.
Maybe not gas out, but maybe Frankie would just be able to be smarter and outlast him in the fight.
Yeah, I think Frankie's best chance is taking Max down. I mean, it's no easy task, and it's no slouch on the ground. But I mean, Frankie's a beast on the ground too. Man, something is telling me Frankie's going to win this, and I don't know what it is. I want Max to win. But, this is probably my biggest upset I've picked on the podcast. I think I'm going to go Frankie, and I don't know why. But I really believe that it's just too soon for Max to be back in that octagon. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But give me Frankie, man.
So Max's last opponent was Poirier. I mean, how well? I mean, you know more than I do. How well does Poirier compare to Edgar? I mean, should Max have taken more time off and maybe had another warm-up fight before?
So
Edgar,
that fight was at 155. That was for the interim belt. So Max moved up to that fight. Poirier's a beast. Poirier was a whole lot bigger than Holloway. It was amazing to me to see how much bigger, just thick. He was, and even Dana was saying Max should be a 155er, and then once that fight came and he saw Holloway in there against Poirier, it was no, Max is a 45er. He's a smaller guy out there, and it was wild to see. Poirier definitely has heavier hands than Frankie, I would say. And I mean, Max kept going forward against Poirier. I just hope that it's not too soon to be back in there. That's the only, and I don't know. Like I said, man, something's telling me to take Frankie here. I don't know what it is. I'm probably wrong, and hopefully I'm wrong. But give me Frankie. So who you taking?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot of credit though to being on a roll, kind of like going with the John Jones theme, where if you're winning and you're on a roll and you know what you're doing and you have your opponents figured out and you've done this over and over and over again, maybe Holloway will be able to pull it off and just kind of keep steamrolling through people.
Yeah.
So I mean, Holloway is a favorite in this. I think that he probably wins, but I think it'll be closer than what people might be thinking.
Especially with those odds. I don't know. I think if Max wins, he might. Frankie Edgar, to my knowledge, has only been knocked out one time, and it was to Brian Ortega. And Holloway absolutely destroyed Ortega. I mean, it was bad. That was one of the worst beatdowns I've seen. I was sitting there watching it, and I'm like, stop the fight. If I'm his corner, I'm like, stop the fight. I mean, it was that bad. I was like, Ortega might have permanent brain damage. But I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Ortega knocked Frankie Edgar out, and then Holloway destroyed Ortega. Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those things, it could be a weird matchup for Max. I doubt it, but I don't know. Give me the upset pick here in Frankie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's that with this weekend's pay-per-view. You want to get
Hold
into
on, are you taking Max?
Yeah, I'm taking Max.
Okay.
But do you want to get into some kind of hearsay, the John Jones thing, the strip club? I mean, how much do you know about that? Are you surprised? Dana's not surprised. I don't think anybody's surprised. There's another thing going on with John Jones.
Look at your goat up there. There he is. That's your goat. Dana had the perfect quote. He's like, John's so amazing when he's in the ring, but then once he gets out, what are you getting with him? You have to worry about him. That's just not a superstar.
It really sucks too, because he just loses so much credibility whenever he tries to claim.
Even if this isn't true.
Well, that's the thing. No matter what, he's in a strip club. Dude, with your background, you don't need to be in strip clubs.
Right. What are you doing there?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're putting yourself in harm's way no matter what way you look at it. Yeah, maybe you should be able to go out and have a fun time with your boys or whatever. But, man, as much as trouble as you've been in, and you always talk about all praise to God and everything else, and this is what you're doing on your time off.
Yeah, that bothered me a little bit too. Knowing that, come on, man, if you're gonna play a role, at least play the role, even if you're not being honest. But, that's probably all there is to say about that. But you texted me, Ben Askren and Damian Maia might be the next fight for Ben.
Yeah. So once he gets medically cleared, they're looking at it. I think that will be a terrible fight for the casual fan. I mean, do not tune into that fight if you're a casual fan.
It'll probably be grappling on the ground.
I don't know if a single punch will be thrown.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Probably not. But I mean, that's what I'd be looking forward to.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I am super excited for that fight. Don't get me. But listen, if you're a casual fan and you don't really know about jiu-jitsu, wrestling, anything like that, don't tune in.
Yeah.
But it would be funny if one of them would knock the other one out. That would be funny.
I'm anxious to see how Ben goes into this fight too. I mean, I'm sure he'll just be himself as he always is. He'll still trash talk and stuff.
I don't know if he'll trash talk Maia like that. I mean, I think
Maia
will.
is just such a different person than Jorge.
And he's such a legend. I mean, Maia is just going to be good one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really see. I mean, I think, Askren will throw some jabs you had the worst fight of all time with you and Woodley. It was the least amount of punches thrown or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really see Ben talking too much trash, not because of the Masvidal thing, but just because it's Maya.
Who do you think is next for Masvidal? I mean, Leon looked great, right?
Wow. What a great problem to have if you're Dana and the matchmakers.
Masvidal has been hitting the spotlight too, man. I mean,
he's done really well.
Yeah.
And really, if he doesn't get a title shot now, when will he ever? Because
exactly.
This is as hot as he can be.
Yeah. What else has he got to do?
Right. I mean, the only way that I could,
Covington. It depends on Covington too, like how that goes down.
But see, Covington has missed his chance on so many title fights. Like
just
by pulling out
around, yeah.
And everything else. Like, I don't give it to Covington. Even if he beats Lawler. I mean, Lawler's coming off a loss. You're beating someone that's coming off a loss.
Yeah. That's not that's not an advancement for Covington.
I mean, yeah, I think that you just kind of solidify where you're at instead of dropping. I mean,
Jorge is a much better hustler than Covington. I mean,
Masvidal and Covington would be an absolute banger. That would be
I don't
awesome.
know if they would fight each other.
No.
I mean, if depending for the right price, yeah. I mean, for the right price, they would.
Yeah, Masvidal said he's not fighting unless it's for the belt or Conor.
Yeah.
And listen, this is what makes me so mad about people.
He's not getting Conor.
Why? Listen, people always hate on Conor because there was like, oh, he's always talking and not fighting. Have you ever heard him say anything about Masvidal?
Conor's already changed the whole world.
I mean,
they're comparing Conor. There's conversations. I was watching a documentary, and they were talking about how Conor is compared to like Muhammad Ali.
He has to be.
What he did to literally change the planet leading up to that boxing match.
Yeah.
Getting everybody on board. Like that wasn't going to happen if it weren't for Conor.
Yeah.
And that's just like, he is a fantastic athlete, but he's also just a ridiculous personality and wants to make money. I mean, yeah, he can do whatever he wants. I mean,
good-looking guy, dresses great.
I went to a whiskey tasting at our work. I don't think any of the guys there follow UFC at all.
Right.
Most of them have had this and like it. They know what this is. They don't even know who Conor McGregor is. And they know what Proper 12 is. That really surprised me.
Right.
He put a good product out there and he's making great money.
Great product.
I mean, I don't need to tell you this. I'm preaching to the choir. You already know all of it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to waste his time.
Why get in the ring?
Especially with Masvidal.
Why get in the ring if it's Conor? Why do you get in the ring if it's under $75 million?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's no reason to. I mean, you just fought Floyd and bare minimum, you made $100 million to box. Why get in the octagon and put yourself in more danger? I mean, like I said, unless it's like 75 million or up. I mean, and I don't really think the UFC has that kind of that pay.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, so those are our fight predictions for the UFC 240 pay-per-view and a little bit of MMA gossip and hearsay going around.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for joining us. We kind of hit the end of the podcast here around 24 minutes. And catch you next time.
Peace.